Welcome to This Week in Orthodoxy, the world's only online video newscast focused on events in the life of the Orthodox Church. I'm Memi Louveris. These are the stories making headlines this week. A Greek Orthodox archbishop is arrested for peacefully protesting the illegal seizure of a hospital in Israel. The Supreme Court's decision for gay marriage could affect religious institutions, and a new documentary shows the Syriac Christian struggle to protect its community. First up from Israel. The Israeli Occupation Forces, IOF, arrested Archbishop Theodosios Atalahana of Sevastia of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem while he peacefully was protesting the illegal seizure of a hospital on church property that provided local Palestinians medical services. Beit al-Baraka, a hospital part of the al-Baraka Church north of Hebron, was seized with the intent to subsequently be bought by a Jewish billionaire. Last month, the Israeli newspaper Haaretz leaked details of the seizure, with the sale having been allegedly made through a fake Norwegian real estate company. The sale process was halted days after publication. Nevertheless, the Israeli defense minister decided that there was no legal impediment to the sale of the building. A group of protesters on their way to participate in the march witnessed the Israeli army besieging the hospital, preventing them from entering the property. A delegation from the Presbyterian Church, as well as international and Israeli activists, marched against the sale of the hospital. According to international law, the sale must be considered void. Israeli activists for Fighters for Peace showed their support that Israeli policy should be condemned by all religions. And next up, from the Pew Research Center. Even before the Supreme Court's decision granting same-sex couples a constitutional right to wed, many people, including legal scholars, were trying to determine how such a ruling might affect religious institutions. The justices, too, had their questions and had to evaluate the possibilities well before taking their final vote. Justice Samuel Alito drew a possible parallel with the case of Bob Jones University, a fundamentalist Christian institution that lost its nonprofit tax-exempt status in 1983 as a result of its policy banning interracial marriage and dating. Alito asked solicitor Donald Verrilli if the court ruled in favor of gay marriage, would the same apply to a university or college if it opposed same-sex marriage? It is going to be an issue, Verrilli replied. Virtually everyone agrees that the First Amendment to the Constitution offers some protections for religious groups. For example, most believe the clergy is protected from being required to officiate at marriages for same-sex couples, and churches from being forced to allow gay and lesbian couples to marry in their sanctuaries. But what about a church basement or retreat center which is rented out for opposite-sex weddings? And what about a religiously affiliated institution like a university that offers married heterosexual students housing but refuses such accommodation for married gay and lesbian students? These questions have real-world implications, since virtually all American religious groups have affiliated nonprofits such as schools, hospitals, and charities. Robert Tuttle, who teaches religion and law at George Washington University, says there's a big difference between something that could be an issue and something that's likely to be an issue. He believes there may be some lawsuits, but he predicts that in more cases than not, accommodation and compromise are likely to win out. After all, we still allow institutions like universities to discriminate based on gender. But University of Illinois law professor Robin Fretwell Wilson says it's possible that institutions will be pressured to give ground on gay marriage by federal authorities such as the IRS. For example, the federal government now reads its laws against sex discrimination to include sexual orientation discrimination, which opens a whole layer of potential threat to religious organizations. However, Wilson added that it is possible for all sides to be able to live in peace, noting a recent compromise in Utah where an extension of gay rights was seen in exchange for religious protections. And lastly, a new documentary entitled Mountain of Servants tells the story of 5 Syriac Christians who struggle to protect their small Christian community. Daniel Lambroso, the filmmaker behind the project, said he hopes this little-known story of the Syriacs makes a difference in how people see the region and its diverse communities. This documentary reminds us that perseverance and struggle are a necessary part of the Christian life. Small Christian communities like the one portrayed in this film are scattered all over the world. Watch the documentary and let us know what you think, and let us not forget to pray for them. And in news from OCN, our Facebook page has reached over 450,000 likes. If you haven't yet, be sure to visit and like the Orthodox Christian Network Facebook page, where you'll see unique images, powerful videos, and read heartfelt comments from faithful just like you from all over the world. OCN has been breaking down communication barriers while building up avenues to connect Orthodox Christians worldwide through media ministry for over 20 years. Please consider making a contribution and be a part of the OCN 10-cent movement, where for just 10 cents a day, you can comfort, inspire, and inform people all over the world. And that brings another edition of This Week in Orthodoxy to a close. For everyone here in our OCN studios, I'm Emmy Louveris. Let's go forth in peace.